Coach, well, you could see and you know the desperation that Rochester had to play
Yeah.
for. They were playing for the playoff lives, but you
Yeah.
can also see with the victory and the intensity of it for you guys how
Yeah.
important it was to get that fifth seed. Can you talk about that part of it?
Yeah, no, that was huge. We, that's a good hockey team. We knew they were going to come out. That team can skate. They're fast. So we just battled through it. We found ways to power play kicked in. Our goalie was outstanding. Uh, we just got a total effort tonight. It wasn't always pretty, but we got the job done.
You didn't mince words about your top line last night. Oh, we got a goal today. You think the message got through? Did you see a difference?
That's why I was, I thought about it after I left the room. I was pretty emotional, and maybe probably should have chosen different words, but sometimes it just comes out that way. And if you can't handle me at this level, then you're going to have some trouble with the NHL guys. But hats off to them. Whether they watch the media or not, but I knew when I walked out of there, maybe I should have toned it down a bit. But so now I'm thinking of picking another line and going after them for a little bit and see what they do. But no, good for them, and a hell of a goal by Miro at the end, and we got goals from our top guys, and that's what we need. That's how you're going to win playoff games. Your top guys got to be your best players.
Coach, like you said, not a pretty performance tonight, but your advantage on the power play tonight was big. What worked for you guys there tonight, and what did you see that kind of allowed the power play to thrive?
Well, they listen to Booter. Booter draws stuff up. He shows them video. He wanted a certain rotation. They did it, and it works. And if it doesn't work, at least you cause a little chaos, or you have an opportunity to make another play from it. So it was good to see them get a couple goals there.
It's going to be Bridgeport now for you guys here in the play-on round. It's a short series, 3-game series at most. How do you get prepped for that, and what's going to be the conversations like in the room over the next couple of days?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just getting the rest we need. And the nice thing is it's only a 4-hour bus ride instead of having to hop on a bus for 8 hours. I like the fact that we get a home game for our fans, which I think is going to be great and exciting. But we're just going to, watch some video, watch some clips. Nice thing is we play them just recently, so nothing has to change in our approach to the game. We just, obviously figure out lines and line up and go from there.
So you talked about it off the top about the first line and being critical last night, but what does it say about just not that group, but the whole team in general? They're able to bounce back after tough losses and kind of flush it and move on to the next.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've done all year. We go in spurts. We're streaky. I think we went 9-1 for earlier on in the year, and then we went another 10 or 11 games with getting points, and then we went 8 or 9 games without a win. So these guys just find a way to, like I always joke around, but they're too dumb to quit. They just keep coming. They come all the time. It doesn't matter what the score is, where we are in the standings. You put a bad game, they tuck it away, they forget about it, and they come back and they bounce back.
I remember you talked about your top line, and I remember early in the season you talked about a player like Protus, the type of player you don't go after, you don't go hard after, because he's from that background where it must have felt hard after last night to players like him, like to not go hard after.
Yeah, it's like I said, I walked out of the room, I rethought, tracked my steps back, and just was like, maybe I went a little too hard on them, or maybe I should have grabbed them in the room separately. But like again, it's an emotional game, and I get revved up sometimes, and you say things that maybe you regret saying. It's not like I was terrible about it, but hey, whether they watch, like I said, the media or not, maybe they don't, which is a good thing. They don't even know what I said, but they bounce back and they played a solid game for us.
And one more for me is I remember throughout the season you talked about you like where you're at, you like what you're building here. The standard here in Hershey is Calder Cup or bust. Do you feel like you're ready for that, and what makes
it's Calder Cup or bust. That's a tough one. Like when they won the Calder Cups here, they had pretty solid teams. They didn't have the 9 or 10 young guys and the 3 or 4 guys called up from the coast playing in your lineup. So, but that's maybe what makes us a good team, is that we just, doesn't matter who's in the lineup, we find ways to to work hard and play hard. And as long as we play the right way and compete, we'll see where it takes us.
Over the weekend, there's been a number of NHL players that have been here to support the Bears. Dylan Strome is here for his brother. Vince Iorio, who was a fast Calder Cup champion, not even in the organization anymore, is here. LaPierre, Dylan McElroy. What does it mean to you just to see that kind of support for this team?
Well, it just shows you the respect Hershey has. Hershey gets from their players that have been here, come through this organization. It was great to see some of those guys, and hopefully down the road here, when hopefully we get another cup back here, those guys that were in that cup team, the next one are coming back to visit, and you hear all the positive things, the stories. It's just good to see those guys around.
And then I wanted to ask you, because you played around the league all this year, when Ilya, when Miro, when Andrew are playing at their best, where does their talent rank among the league?
Oh, it's up there. It's top. I mean, there's guys in the thing is there's guys in the league that are good, solid American League hockey players that put up numbers. They're elite, but they're older, a little bit older. And then now you have a guy like Crystal Protas and even Miro. They're young kids, so they're still got a lot of growing to do, and they're at a high level already. So, I mean, it's hard to say, but top 20 for sure in the league. I'd put them on any team. Would be dumb not to have them.
I think we'll take one more, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Coach, you had a lot of hardware handed out tonight, a bunch of special players. Talk about the selection process and what that means to have those kind of guys contribute in meaningful ways.
Yeah, I talked to them before the game, and it's sad that like a Smitty or a McDonald, I got to sit these guys because those guys, they play hard every night, and they care about the team. They'll do anything for the team. So I had to get Bon Giovanni back in and get Muggley back in. But like I said, putting those guys in, putting them in situations where they succeed, having guys, take a draw in the D zone when the game's on the line or whatever tonight. It's just, this is what we do as a staff, and it was just, it was good to see those guys succeed.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thanks, Coach.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Thank you.